It happened in my second up when it was happening in JW Marriott, and I asked you a question, and you told me a story, and in that entire moment, how I worked in my office or how I approached it changed. So I know that when you do installation, it works.
Okay, so following your experience again. right?
Yes.
And that's fabulous moments. You see life blossoming there.
Do you guys believe that installation actually happens in life? Yeah. How do you know that? Like for me, it's one thing I could never believe, even when I was doing it. Like, I mean, it just sounds like fairy tale because I come from a programming background, and I used to teach people programming. Ever since I've been like 16 years old, I used to teach people programming. And I have seen before, you want to teach someone how to think sequence, and then you teach them one particular language. You give them 100 problems to solve, and then they develop some skill. And then you give them more problems to solve, then they develop one skill. And then you sit with them and develop software with them. Maybe some people will learn architecture, and it takes years. And then you suddenly come to a place where, it appears like you can hear a sequence of stories, and the programming skills will develop. So and you can do installations of capabilities. For me, it was a very difficult thing to believe. How is that possible? Like, is it really possible? I want to know, see, when you do procedures with each other, you do collapse anchor with each other, you have an evidence that it works because you're seeing it with your eyes. There's this unresourceful state, there's a resourceful state, and then you hold that together, and then you're seeing like one cartoon, like, the two emotions come and go, and then one stops. You're doing a test. So your belief that it actually happens is following your own experience. I'm just curious to know, why do you guys believe that something called installation exists, it works? Yeah, okay, let's give her the mic.
Sorry, but I don't believe I can do it. I believe when you do it, it happens. Because it happened in my second up when it was happening in JW Marriott, and I asked you a question, and you told me a story, and in that entire moment, how I worked in my office or how I approached it changed. So I know that when you do installation, it works.
Okay, so following your experience again.
Yes.
Okay,
So
sure.
it did come out of experience. Initially, I did not believe it.
Uh-huh.
But like I could feel my entire body move backwards when that penny drop moment happened for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I also remember the story. It was about I don't have friends because I'm poor. It was that story. You had a friend in college.
Right.
That
right.
story. And it hit me that it's not like because I don't go and smoke with them, I cannot. So that's this context. So that's how my entire journey, how I dealt with my professional colleagues changed. So later on it clicked that, oh, that worked.
Okay, very nice.
But again, when I try it, I don't have context whether it's worked or not.
That's okay, but that's what you're here for. You're going to learn how to make it work. Sure. Yeah.
Why I believe this works is twofold. A, the experience part which Mukti mentioned, after meeting you and always registering, you cannot not influence. That's what you say all the time, as in when CPM. That's one part of it. And second part of it was as in when we developed capabilities, I could personally, influence people differently than what I used to do, and B, also reflect on times that, how was it happening before I knew this subject, right? We all learn to speak before we learn the grammar part of any language. So that made me believe that, okay, since like all throughout my life, right, people have been telling me A, B, C, D, E, and, consciously, unconsciously, we're doing what they're asking us to do without realizing that we're doing it. So basically, like you've helped us decode what we have been doing all throughout our life, and now you're using that to help ourselves and others.
So do you have this experience where you came to an up or another up and another up, and when you went back, the way you started influencing changed? You may not know exactly how it happened, but you see that there's a change in people around you.
True.
So this is an example of how you first unconsciously pick up the skill, and then you understand systematically how it works, and then you sharpen what you picked up unconsciously even more. So how many of you have that experience where you felt your installations on people, although you may not know that you are consciously doing it? Okay, very nice.
Antano, can I?
Yes.
Why I believe in installation is I have experienced it. I'm experiencing it. I believe that will be a transformative journey for me. That's from my personal standpoint. I see some of the faces here in up across the last 4 apps, and the transformation that has happened to them. I've been observing them very, very critically, right? And that's fabulous moments. You see life blossoming there when they come to the stage and it happens. So, and over the period of time, last 3-4 apps, there's a drastic transformation in them. Therefore, I believe it works. And there are instances in my life where I came up with some solutions which I, in my normal frame, would never come up. Probably it was 1 or 2 sentences and make a drastic difference. And therefore, I very strongly believe that installation works and will work. And it's a masterpiece in itself.
We never like to complete our video without giving you the opportunity to personally evolve and launch your legacy. Imagine for a moment, what would it feel like when you are impacting the world positively so much and enhancing your business, your health, your family and legacy? All of this together simultaneously, continuing to grow leaps and bounds, fast and smoothly. If you've got the right motives, we believe Antano and Harini will be able to help you launch your legacy in compressed time. Get excellence installation-based personal evolution and keep making a difference, starting with yourself.